All souls are welcome here. Good morning. Oh, multitask. No, ladies won't work again. Once I get it going, there we go. So welcome to Unity of London. Welcome to the people here in our building at 501 Nelson Street in London, Ontario, Canada. Welcome to all of you on Zoom watching us from all over the world. We're grateful that everyone's here, and then welcome everyone that's going to watch the service later on YouTube. We are grateful everyone is here for you. Make it special. Even the late ones who make a big noise coming in. We love the enthusiasm. No, it won't click, girls. Clickety click, clickety click. Unity of London has a vision statement, and the vision statement is pretty much the same as, well, it is the same as almost all of the unities worldwide. For those of you who there maybe are new to Unity, Unity is a movement, and it's been moving since the late 1800s, mid 1800s, late 1800s, a long time, over 130 years. And that mission, or the vision, sorry, catch up with yourself, will you? Okay. Our vision, and let's read it together, is a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. And to see that vision be realized, we have a mission. Slide, please. Not sure what's going on. Clicker, what's the matter? Well, if nothing else, we have a good time. But there's so much more. And together we'll affirm our mission as well, and that is co-creating with spirit to transform lives through shared spiritual awakening. Blah, blah, blah. And how will we do that? Well, by being a loving and inclusive, supportive community. We believe that we are all one. It's our egos, our beliefs, and our fears that separate us. Each and every person that is walking the face of this earth is a divine expression of the one and only. And we aspire to see the face of God in every person that we meet. We also promote self-expression. We want each person to be the best of them they can be. Not anybody else, but be the best you can be. And by following and living the 5 principles. So Unity was founded on 5 basic principles. One is that there is only one power active in the universe and working with and through us, and that is God. And God is good. You can also call it divine energy, universal mind, Howard. I'll tell you about that later. But there is only one power. And the second principle is that we are a divine expression or an extension of the one and only God. So we carry all the properties within us and the principles that are within God. The third one is that I think. How we choose and think and respond to life directly influences how we experience life. It's through our thoughts and our what's in our heart and our actions that create our life. The fourth principle is that we pray. With conscious reflection or prayer, silent stillness allows us to be grounded, but it's also the way that we consciously connect with that one and only power. And the fifth principle is that I live these principles. We make every thought, word, and action an intentional spiritual practice and do the very best we can to live these principles each and every day. And we also like to inspire people to be the change, make a positive difference. We all set an example for the people around us. We hope that all of us, we try to set a positive example as to how to live, as Jesus was our way shower. He showed us a great way, the best way to treat people and to go through life and to always be connected to spirit. And then we know that we all have to coexist. There's a difference in each and every one of us, even though at our core is the same. We're all a little bit different, and we want to inspire people to also live amongst each other, listen to each other's perspectives, because sometimes you may not agree, but when you hear another person's perspective from a different point of view, sometimes we understand things just a little bit better, and we all want to be seen and heard. And important announcements. Da, 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 da. Today, our prayer chaplains, we do not have anyone on Zoom that was ready to pray, but we can have somebody on Zoom to pray. We can just jump onto Zoom back in the sound booth. So if you are on Zoom and you'd like individual one-on-one prayer with a prayer chaplain today, please just put a note in the chat box. And then here in the building, Dawn is available to pray with people following the service. And you'll find her kind of hanging around by the stairs going up to the prayer room. And our 2023 condo lottery. Get your tickets, get your tickets, get your tickets, sell your tickets, sell your tickets. I'm going to win. Well, I'm hoping I'm going to, but I want lots of competition. So we hope everybody's got tickets that they're sharing with their friends and family. If you've sold them, bring in the money to Teresa so that it can be so we're not tallying everything all at the end. And if you're ready for more, get some more. If you need some help, ask somebody that has, like Teresa, myself, or some other people that have been selling tickets in the past. But it's really about telling people that we've got a great fundraiser for our music program here at Unity of London. And who wouldn't love a week on the river in Grand Bend at any time of the year and $500 cash to buy your supplies? Or remember, there's laundry facilities. But I'd rather be on the kayaks. I don't know about you. So get your condo lottery tickets. Our spring project is for Earth Day on April 22nd. We're going to do a neighborhood cleanup. We'll keep talking about this each week, but put in your calendars to be here at 9:30 a.m. on April 22nd, 2023. I'm thinking 22 and 1922, and that was the year my parents were born. Imagine that jumped in. So it's April 22nd, 2023. Where are you? And then a drumming workshop coming up. So with storytelling and song celebration on the last Saturday of the month, 1:30 to 4. Sign up sheet and information in the fellowship hall. And we have a song, I guess. This is
One power. One power, one power, one power, one power, one power. There's one power, invisible, and you see it everywhere and every day. One power indescribable, and you speak of it with every word you say. Mysterious until you know the truth, as simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angels' wings or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? It's the power of the love in you and me. One power. So many languages, different clothing, different colors, different names. The different is only dangerous when we forget that in the heart we're all the same. And we'll remember once we close our eyes to see that such distances were never meant to be. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, Hashem or heaven's door. It's Muhammad, it's your mind, it's your soul, or it's your sign. It's the universe, It's music, Mother Earth or Father Time, but whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? Whatever name you give it, it's the very air we breathe. Oh, it's the power of the love in you and me. One power. Oh, one power is what we are. One power. One power. It's the moment of creation. It's an everlasting peace. It's the freedom of forgiveness. It's the sweetness of release. It's the joy of inspiration. It's the sunshine on your face. It's the birthright of all nations. It's the boundlessness of space. It's the beauty of a baby, the serenity of sleep. It's the anger we abandon, for it's love that's most deep. It's one power. It's one power. What we are is one It's the power of the love that lives forever in you and me. It's the power of the love in you and me.
Oh, great job on those high notes, folks. So I brought this thing up with me. I wrote myself a big note at the top of my notes and I didn't say a word. So I'm going to say it now. If you have a phone with you, could you please either turn it off or turn it to silent mode so that our speaker is not interrupted in any way with a or one of those noises. Thank you. Okay, so unity is founded on affirmative prayer. When Charles and Myrtle Fillmore first, before unity was in existence, Myrtle was affirmatively praying, I am a child of God, therefore I cannot inherit sickness. And she cured herself of tuberculosis with those words. So affirmative prayer is not crying out to some entity outside of ourselves to please take care of something for us. We pray connected to God, knowing that we have all the powers that we need to get through a situation, whether it's a healing, whether it's prosperity, a relationship. It's affirmative. We claim our power, and so Silent Unity's been going for over 130 years in Lee Summit, Missouri, or actually Unity Village has its own zip code. But at any time you can call 1-800-NOW-PRAY and have someone pray with you. You can share that with anyone that you know that would be looking for additional prayer for themselves. Also, we have our prayer box at the front where you put a person's name or a number of names on a piece of paper for people that you would like to have a prayer, to receive prayer. Put it in the box and it's prayed over here and then sent on to Unity Worldwide. And so we'll take a few moments to go into prayer. So I invite you to settle into your seat and kind of take a couple of nice deep breaths and let go of all the busyness that was going on this morning up to this moment. We have some great, exciting things happening this afternoon, but we're not going to be concerned with them. We're going to be here in the now, just in this very moment together. Closing our eyes if you're comfortable with that. And I invite you to drop your awareness from your head into your heart space. And we'll take a few moments and we can feel our hearts beating, knowing that that's the pulse of the universe. All of us, our hearts beating together in unison. And this month's power is love. And love is founded in your heart space. Charles decided that it was to be recognized as the color of pink. And so at any time when you want to quicken your hearts, you can think of the color of pink. You can wear pink, but know that you have the power of love in your heart. And the more we open that heart and allow the love to flow, the more we give, and therefore also the more we receive. In our prayer today, we hold unity of London and unity of New Westminster, BC. We hold all of the spiritual gatherings happening today. And certainly we hold all of our unity of London members and families and friends that are connected with us. And we aspire that as we go through our service today, hearing music, hearing the lesson, speaking with each other, sharing love and laughter, we take a moment to realize that we are sharing our love and that affects the entire world. As we take a few moments, we'll sit in the silence and just imagine the love emanating from our hearts into this room, and this room is filled with a bright, bright pink. And it's so full that it's now oozing out of the building into the city of London and beyond, through our province of Ontario and beyond our province borders. And just like dropping a pebble in the ocean, the ringlets from that drop and how the water changes, our love is changing the world. We imagine other hearts opening wider than they've ever been before. We imagine the universe being just a bright, bright light because we are all so bright, shining with love. And as we spend this time, we know that there are hearts that are a little bit closed, but there's always a crack open, waiting for some love to kind of wiggle in there and some light to wiggle in there to make that space bigger and wider. And we know this is happening right here, right now, and it will cause a great ripple effect today and beyond. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. And now we will have Nancy Youngson come up and read from the Daily Word.
World peace. I live my vision for a peaceful world. To bring about peace in the world, I begin by paying attention to my first reaction when I feel I've been treated unjustly. I do not deny my feelings, but neither do I allow anger, envy, or other negative feelings to take control of my response. I feel my feelings, but I remain committed to living the truth I know. Regardless of behavior, every person is a divine being, a living expression of God. I call upon my divine faculties of love, faith, and strength to guide my next steps. No matter how another responds, I remain centered in God, in love. My efforts make a difference. Peace between individuals creates peace within families, in communities, and among the nations of the world. From Isaiah chapter 32:17, the effects of righteousness will be peace, and the result of righteousness, quietness, and trust forever. Today's speaker is Wendy Karr. Wendy joined the Unity movement in 1984 and received her licensed Unity teacher status in 2000. Best known for her teaching history of Unity and the Bible courses across Canada, she also serves on teams at the national and international levels. Most recently, she led that workshop on Good Friday. She is honored to be back at Unity, London today. So, her talk, what's next? Easter, Lent, Good Friday, what's next? Please help me and welcome our returning guest speaker and wonderful licensed Unity teacher, Wendy Karr.
Thank you. Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me? No. Yeah? Okay. All of a sudden, my menu disappeared and I couldn't see to unmute myself. So thank you. I am so glad to be back with you folks at London. As I was saying when we were doing our run through, I will be in person in May. I will be back with you folks, and I am so excited to be back with you folks next month. And thank you for inviting me today. So now what? It's been a busy couple of months. We've started with Ash Wednesday and gone through Lent and Holy Week and Easter. And I don't know about you folks, maybe it's because I did so many things during the period. I'm ready for a little rest, and I'm asking myself, now what? What's next? So I don't normally give a trigger alert, but I'm going to do today, because what I have to talk about, what I have to say, my inner child went, wait a minute, that's not right. Yeah, I still have some metaphysical dust bunnies hanging around that pop in every so often, and things that I haven't cleaned out of previous existences, beliefs that I didn't realize I was still holding on to, and yet I'm ready to let them go. So let's just do a little review of what we've been through, what we've had in the last while. So we started with Ash Wednesday. And what I'm going to do here, and this is why I gave a trigger alert, is I'm going to take this story metaphorically, not metaphysically, metaphorically. Let's take the story of Lent and Easter and all of Holy Week and all the in-between stuff as our own personal journey, how we can take it and apply it to our daily lives or our life generally. So Ash Wednesday, which is the beginning of Lent, would be our awareness that something needs to change, what some folks call the divine discontent. Something's not right and I need to change it, whether it's this house isn't working for me anymore, I need to move, or my car it's not worth putting the money in to repair it, I need to get a new vehicle, this relationship isn't working, this job isn't working, fill in the blank. So we have that awareness on Ash Wednesday that something needs to change. And most of the time, we're able to take our change in small pieces. Sometimes we can't. Sometimes there's a death in our circle of friends and family, and that's sudden, unexpected. We might have a fire at our home, something that's, happens very quickly. And we may not have the same time to make these changes and make this adjustment for ourselves. But I'm talking about when we're making a conscious change, not when one is thrust upon us by outside forces and circumstances. So Lent is our period of preparation for that change. It's a period of letting go of what no longer serves and deciding and determining what's going to come forward with us on this next stage of our journey. I liken it to the downsizing we invariably do before we move into a new place. The moving costs are a lot cheaper if you don't take everything. They may be that you are literally downsizing to a smaller unit, whether it's from a house to an apartment or whatever, that you may discover that there isn't as much room as you thought, because when a place is empty, it looks a lot bigger than once you get that favorite piece of furniture that you just can't let go of in it. And suddenly the decision has to be made, Okay, what am I going to let go of to make sure I can have this favorite piece of furniture stay with me? And so too with relationships and other things. I'm just using a house because I'm assuming, and I know assumptions are dangerous. I'm assuming all of you have moved at least once in your lifetime. So that takes us to Palm Sunday. So we have that time of preparation, and we come to Palm Sunday. And metaphorically, that's like the moment that we make that choice that we've said, okay, here's the idea, I'm ready to act on it. It's not that the idea hasn't been circling in your mind, but Palm Sunday is like the day that you sign off of the agreement of purchase and sale. It's like that moment when you take off all the conditions for the mortgage and the house inspection and anything else that you've put on it. And it's finally going to happen on a specific day. And you move towards that idea coming into manifestation. It may be, if it's a job you're releasing, you've given your 2 weeks notice, and Palm Sunday will be the beginning of that last 2 weeks that you're working. Then we come to the Last Supper or Maundy Thursday. That's the time and symbolic of our saying goodbyes, of having one last hurrah together. I remember leaving a job. I may have spoken about this on Good Friday. And I was so ready to get out of that job. I was so ready to leave. And yet, the sadness at leaving friends I had worked with for 12 years, I cried all the way to my car because while I wanted to let go of the job, there were aspects of it that were really hard to let go of. And then we get into the crucifixion, Good Friday. And this is our final release of the old. This is our final willingness to say, it is finished. Whatever part of our life that is coming to a conclusion, we release it, we let it go. We will take the lessons, we will take the love with us, but the rest can stay behind. The rest can just be in the past. Holy Saturday is a time for rest, renewal, and regeneration. That's the time. I liken it, as so many others have, to the event of the creation of a butterfly. You go from the caterpillar to the mush that is within the chrysalis to the emergence of the butterfly. So too with us, we need that time to rest and rejuvenate and take time to figure out what these next steps are. We may already know, we're in our new house, we've unpacked the boxes, everything's on the shelves or in the cupboards. And yet we might need to find out where the grocery stores are, or what's fun to do. Where do the locals hang out? Because you're now a local and you need to know these things. So Holy Sunday, Easter, this is the emergence of our new. And let's take that story to the next stage. For any of you who might be Bible oriented, we're now talking about things that happened in the book of Acts. So the Gospels are complete here, and we're into the book of Acts, just as a sidebar for anyone that's interested. There we go. So let's talk about the scriptures a little bit, just because this is a narrative that I think at some level, most of us have been taught if we grew up in a spiritual or religious community. And for me, this year particularly, and I'm not sure what it is that's different, but something's different. I found myself really aligning myself with the apostles and having that experience of coming to Easter, and it's all celebration. And then there was kind of a letdown. There was kind of this feeling of, well, everything's supposed to be new and it's not feeling new. And I won't share why, because that's my business, not yours. But I saw something on Facebook, and it was written by an Anglican/Episcopalian priest. And I'm not going to quote from it directly, but just some things that he said really resonated with me. The first part I will quote directly. Tomorrow is Easter. There's going to be a lot of celebration and lots of alleluias. But just a reminder for those who might have some trouble scrounging up the expected joy and enthusiasm. The primary emotions of this day in our Easter stories are fear, confusion, and disbelief. It isn't just praise for the resurrected Jesus, it's also Mary standing weeping outside the tomb and then bending over to look into the darkness of the cave of death. Weeping is a faithful response to Easter morning. Not knowing what is next is a faithful response to Easter morning. So if, like me, you haven't been feeling, Easter-ish, is that a word? It is now. That's fine, because sometimes we get so caught up in wanting to be in the newness, we forget that we need to process what has come before. And using our metaphor of this whole experience, this whole story that the Christian faith is based on, and unity is at its core. Charles and Myrtle, chose Christianity. That was what they understood. And if you read a lot of their writings, you may feel like you're in traditional Christianity because there was no unity for them to draw on. And they went back to the Bible. So there's a lot of Bible in their teachings. I'm very aware of that right now. I just finished teaching a class on their teachings. So it's very much forward in my brain. Going back to this article, Easter is big enough for your doubt, your fear, your weeping, and your confusion. The resurrection doesn't depend on our certainty of it or current feeling about it. Your doubt, sorrow, and disbelief are actual vital parts of this story. And this is like that moment you wake up in your new house and you might feel, as I have many times as I've moved over the years, wow, I'm in my new house. Now what? There's that potential longing for what was. There's that missing friends that we've left behind. There's that loss of that favorite coffee shop down the street where as soon as they saw me walking in the door, they were starting to prepare my order because I always ordered the same thing. And that's part of the journey. It can be a painful part of the journey, and it tells us that we are still in the process of letting go and moving forward simultaneously. That we are getting more in touch with who we are, who we're called to be, and what we're called to do in this life. And that's perfect. That's why we're all here. That's why we come together on a Sunday, is to support and nurture each other as we go through these challenges. And there was a sense of fear amongst the apostles. There was a sense of fear that if Jesus could be killed, perhaps they would as well. There was a fear that, where am I? They hadn't developed Christianity yet. It was still primarily Jewish. And there was this confusion about what's next? What do we do? Jesus gave us a message to pass along to the world. And how do we do that? How do we share this message? And I'm sure perhaps some of you have had some challenges about, I'd really love for this family member to come to Unity with me or watch online or check the YouTube out, but I'm not sure how to make that first step. So part of what I'd like to share with you today is some ideas about how to overcome any fear or confusion, and to invite you. This is not a requirement. This is just me setting out a table for you like a buffet. Come and pick what you like, leave the rest that you don't like or you're not sure about. So one of the things that you might consider to do is add to your life, add to your prayer time, add to your walking time, especially as it's getting a little warmer, a little more pleasant to be outdoors. As we're getting into outdoor time where we don't have to be masked up and worried about any residual germs or viruses floating around, as we do that, to reach back out to people. I was recently in a workshop where we were invited to score ourselves, and my sense of community had plummeted over COVID. It's just, that's how it is because of what we've been through in the last 3 years. And just finding ways to get within yourself and to look around within and say, who is it I'm called to be in this life? What is it I bring to the world? As Sylvia said, unity is based on prayer. So perhaps you might want to increase your prayer, as I said. And during our meditation time, I'm actually going to introduce you to you, perhaps a reminder for some folks, perhaps it's new. Unity publishes monthly affirmations and a whole bunch of other resources that you can use from their website. And I'll have the URL on one of the slides below. They have a monthly meditation you can download. They have a monthly spiritual prayer service that you can download as a PDF to read yourself, or you could download it as an MP3 to listen to. And I am so grateful for those resources. When I was in that toxic job so many years ago, I would listen to that daily service as part of my practice at work, just to kind of keep myself steady and centered and in as best of a place of mind and body as I could be under the circumstances. Some of you may be familiar with the 12 powers. They're not just for Christmas, folks. They're for all the year. Again, Sylvia mentioned, wearing pink. That's why my slides are pink. Because to me, the 12 powers is very much a spiritual practice. And now I'm going to do something I don't think I've ever done here before. Shameless self-promotion. I have a YouTube channel at Wendy_Canadian_Lute. And in the spiritual toolboxes, I have 2 12-power meditations you can watch. Each slide stays on the screen for about 30 to 45 seconds, depending on what's on it. There's no music, so you can add your own music while you're watching it. And that's something that I've put out there because I believe in this, and it has been such a wonderful spiritual tool for me and for others. So there are so many things that we can do. And I invite you to take this thought into your heart and mind. I designed my life in cooperation with the divine. Now, someone said to me, she was of a different theology, so she had a slightly different focus on it. But her description was that in the mind of God, there is a blueprint that is infinity by infinity by infinity, all 3 dimensions. And at any time, we only see like a nano of that time-space continuum. And yet we are part of that bigger picture. And what we do and who we are is important to that bigger picture. And to take that time, before applying for a job, before saying yes to meeting up with someone, to take that time to pray and just get inside and say, is this my right and perfect course of action? And if the answer comes back yes, feel free to dive right in. If it's sort of a, maybe not right now. I've had a lot of maybe not right nows lately. And that's fine, because I'm trusting that things need to be done in the background to prepare for my presence, my skills, my knowledge going forward. And if, as Charles said, this is true, then it must be true for all. And so with that, I invite you to get comfortable as we go into a slightly different meditation today. I have been using these affirmations, the monthly affirmations, probably since I started in Unity almost 40 years ago. So it's very much a part of my spiritual process and my spiritual practice. So I just invite you to soften your body. I invite you to keep your eyes open. Can we go back one slide, please? Thanks. And what I will do is I will lead us through, I will read this aloud, and then I will pause and I will read it a second time. And if you wish to read along with me, please do. And then we'll have a brief moment of silence and we'll move on to the next one. So just taking the moment to get centered in our heart and mind and body, breathing into the space where we are connected, where we are divine, where the Christ of our being resides, where that part of you that you know you are one with the universe resides. Take yourself into that space and consciousness. And as we join together as one, let us take these affirmations into our minds and hearts for inner peace, Breathing in peace, breathing out peace. Breathing in peace, breathing out peace. For faith. With every step forward, I am faith-filled and faithful. With every step forward, I am faith-filled and faithful. For wholeness. Attuned to divine life, I heal and live fully. For strength. By the power of spiritual strength, I stand steady and ready. By the power of spiritual strength, I stand steady and ready. For harmony. Centered in divine love, I am a harmonious presence. Centered in divine love, I am a harmonious presence. And as we take these 5 affirmations into our hearts, into our minds, we hold this truth not only for ourselves, but for everyone with whom we have contact. We hold these 5 affirmations for our world, for every person on it, knowing that even when to outer eyes there is conflict, there is poverty, we know that with spiritual eyes, with divine eyes, all is well, and everyone is equally able to express their divinity to the best of their ability. And as I move forward beyond this Easter time, I move forward in faith that sees good and insists on good. And we just take that into our minds and hearts, knowing this to be so for us, as us, and through us. And so it is, and so it shall be. Amen.
Well, thank you, Wendy, for a great service, a great talk on what next, what now, and using those affirmative affirmations certainly will help us get some answers and feel grounded in faith and knowing that all is well. And on to another song.
I have a dream of what I wanna be. I wanna be free. That's what my heart keeps telling me. Give me your hand.
We'll find a way.
There's people out there
They feel the same.
if we help each other. I just know we can succeed.
do believe. Oh, I believe in destiny. It's up to me to make it into reality.
Give me a hand.
We'll find a way
People out there,
that feel the same.
if we help each
other, I just know we can succeed. We are one, but we are different. We from all around the world. We share the same sun, we share the same oceans. We are every boy and girl. Come together and share our dreams. We'll be amongst the stars, and we know that it's destiny that we are unity. No matter where you're from or who you are, if we can find common place to be, then we are friends. We are one, but we are different. We from all around the world. We share the same sun, we share the same oceans. Oh. We are one, but we are different. We're from all around the world. We share the same sun, we share the same oceans. We are every boy and girl. Come together and share our dreams. We'll be amongst the stars, and we know that it's destiny that we are unity. We are unity.
What a great song. And now we come to the time where we talk about tithing. I remember going to my very first tithing class many years ago back on Maplebrook and talked about sharing time, talent, and treasures. So we truly need to take time and recognize that every week people take the time and share their talents and their treasures so that Unity of London can continue on and grow and help other people become aware of their spiritual abilities and sharing that our spiritual awakenings. You can certainly send money through the mail. You can drop it off here. You can use our machine. We take cash, or as our slide says, you can email to unityoflondon@hotmail.com. And if you do use e-transfer, please just put a note in and let Hilda know what that's for, because people will send sometimes money for classes, and we like to kind of organize where our monies come from and where we're putting it to. But we take a few moments to bless the offerings, and so I'll have you. Well, can you click for me, Kate, please? Click. Oh, we love technology. Okay, so we are grateful for all that we've received this week, and together let's affirm that divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. And now we have our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds me. I am the light. Whoop. Sorry, I didn't know that. Okay, I'll leave it alone. I'll let you do it. Okay, so light of God surrounds me. I am the light. The love of God enfolds me. I am the love. The power of God protects me. I am the power. And the presence of God watches over me. I am the presence. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. Yay, God. Now, as we're getting ready for the peace song, I'll tell you a little story that I heard this week. So you're welcome to stand up, start getting in the circle, because we're going to go into our peace song. So recently a man died, and he went to the pearly gates. And St. Peter said to him, okay, I'm going to let you in, but I got to ask you 3 questions. The first question is, how many days of the week start with two or start with T? And he said 2. And St. Peter said, oh, which ones are the today and tomorrow? Well, St. Peter said, well, you're not wrong. So, okay. How many seconds are there in a year? And the guy's like, oh, I know. He says 12. St. Peter said, there's 12. Yeah, the 2nd of January, the 2nd of February, the 2nd of March. Okay, well, you're not wrong. Okay. Third question. What's God's first name? Oh, he thought. I got it. It's Howard. Howard? Yeah, it's in the Bible. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Let's sing our peace song. So as you go about your week, if you're feeling like, what's next? What now? Spend some time in silence and affirmative prayer. Have a great week, everybody. And so we'll take a few minutes and do some sharing online. If you're going to go to the fellowship room, I invite you to do that so that while whoever's in the room here is talking with the people on Zoom, if there's anybody that'd like to say thanks to Wendy, make a comment to Wendy about her talk, come on up or wave at us if you're on Zoom. And da, 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 da.